So good afternoon, everyone. So for we all know that we are into like tough times and things are refreshing on its own. There are people who are in a lot of trouble, etc., etc. And need is at its maximum. And what need invites is innovation. And what we truly believe is that a child who is not set into the normal flow and is allowed to reflect on his or her creativity can do wonders because they have the most design thinking oriented mind ever. And one such child prodigy we have with us is Aditya from Pune. And he's a 8th standard student of Indus International School. And he has done some great innovation, one of which is in aligned with the current COVID times. It's something which we can use on a daily basis, each one of us, no matter where are we from. And I, whatever I have gone through about him, it's what I think is that he has a critical mind for everything. As soon as there is a need, he comes up with a solution, and he has a real zeal to also implement them in real life with a lot of frugal ways, which is the most important thing. So we have Aditya with us for a live interaction, and we'll get to know a lot about him, and we aim at inspiring more and more people around us through this short interaction. So Aditya, how are you feeling today?
I don't know, I just feel normal.
You feel normal? Do you think you have arrived?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And do you want to tell us something about like where did this all started from? Where did you feel like becoming a creator is the only thing you want to do? How did it start?
So actually, this goes all the way back around 4 years ago. So
Okay,
what happened was I was a lot into cartoons. Yeah,
okay,
I really loved cartoons. I thought it just embraces so much creativity and innovation. So one day, my father's friend came to visit, and then they were just talking. I was just sitting silently as I always was. And then, I thought I should just jump into the discussion, and I ended up impressing that person. Then he called me to a conference, and then I realized that I have the spark inside me, right, to do
okay,
things, big
yeah,
things, to solve problems. And through that, I thought about starting this journey, and that's how it all began. Um, at first, I did experience some problems which I've actually surpassed now. So yeah,
okay.
that's how it all started. Actually, I realized that I had this spark inside me, and I realized that I want to do something for the world, and here I am.
Right, right. So when you think about creating things, and when you felt like proud about it, and you felt that this was your comfort zone, you can use your strength to your best ability and all these things. When do you think like what was the first thing which you did which really solved a need, and you felt like, okay, social innovation is something where I want to step into, and I'm very much capable of doing it. I'm sure you had some hit and errors. So do you want to like share the first experience where you were like, okay, it might take time, but this is what I want to do?
Yeah, so the social venture which I did, the Suraksha Box. So I realized that this is a pandemic. Yeah, COVID-19 has brought in so many hardships for the human lives, and has definitely disrupted the day-to-day lives of the entire population. Yeah, and I realized that one such hardship was
Right.
how to sterilize the things that we bring from outside, like the groceries, parcels, and everything. And how do we ensure that it's not contaminated? And that is the main way the virus is spreading right now. So I researched and researched. Many household warriors, yeah, they have
Yeah.
been using various methods like potassium permanganate, drying it out in the sun, using sanitizers. But these methods are not completely hygienic, and they have their own drawbacks. So
Hmm.
they waste a lot of resources, and they're very time consuming, tedious. So I used my knowledge about design thinking to come up with a solution. Yeah, I realized even my family had struggled with this. I wanted to do something, and so I made a UVC do-it-yourself sterilization box from regular materials at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is great. Yeah. We coming to the sterilization box, and I saw a video on it. And what was your inspiration? And you did a lot of research. You want to talk about how association helps in design thinking, because one of the parts which I saw in the video was like you thought a lot, and then you came to a special kind of rays, which are actually used in say swimming pools and things like that. So that's like you associated. Okay, this can do this, so maybe it can also do this. So you want to talk about importance of association in design thinking and problem solving?
Yeah, so when you associate one thing with the other, you can just realize how much one thing can do. Yeah, so everything has multiple purposes, right? We all are here for a reason. Everything has a reason to exist in the first place, right?
Right,
So
right.
the entire reason for using association is that take an example of any successful entrepreneur right now. Whatever they've invented, whatever they've innovated, they have thought of associating it with the real world that no one else actually thought about. The ideas might have come to so many other people, right? But they didn't execute it and they didn't look at it from a different perspective, right? So I always say that a linear thinking approach is the reason why you're just going to, it's not going to work. You have to look at things from different perspectives. You have to associate things to create a product, a multi-purpose
Mm-hmm.
product, right? That can help
Mm-hmm.
not only the needy, but it can help other people also, right?
Right. And what is your advice to reasoning? So, for example, I'll take a small example. If I want to say learn skateboarding, which I don't know at all, and I can come up with things like, oh, I don't have a skateboard, I don't have a teacher, I don't have XYZ, and not end up doing. And I could have just one reason, like, I want to do it, and I'll just end up doing, even if I don't have the resources. So there's a thought which says that you can have a million reasons to not do a particular thing, but you always have only one reason to do it anyway. So you want to talk about how design thinking can anyway influence solutions, and how can you bring it to reality? Because I saw you used very frugal things. It was just a box, it was a foil paper, everybody has it. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So actually, part of the reason is that procrastination also comes in play. Now, I do admit even I procrastinate a lot, and if you think about it, you cannot stop procrastination. But everyone in the world does it at different levels, right? So
Hmm.
let's say you want to learn a new skill about doing push-ups, yeah. So an average person would say that, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And then when they actually start to do the push-up, someone says that, oh, there's this new pill, you just take it and you can do push-ups instantly.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Is something like that. And uh, the amount of time which you would have wasted is the amount of time you would have taken to master the skill of doing push-ups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I believe that you should just go for it. There are many bad ideas in the world. Nobody has a monopoly on good ideas, but
Right.
everybody, especially we are the Gen Y, right? So their generation Y, we children have an executional mindset. Yeah,
Right.
we want
Right.
we want fast and effective results.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the saying that poor people are paid based on time, and rich people are paid based on results? Yeah, all
Result.
the athletes in the world and everyone, they're paid based on results. And so once you get into the hang of problem solving,
Mm-hmm.
you will realize the variety of problems. Yeah, so as a problem solver, I would advise everyone to first think off limits. Just think of limits.
Mm-hmm.
Many people make a big mistake, which even I did, and I learned it the hard way. Is that we jump straight to solutions. We jump straight to the conclusion, and that is a big problem because you haven't understood the problem in the first place. You haven't understood what we're supposed to do in the first place,
Right.
and so because of the lack of understanding, it just doesn't work out, right? So if I take any successful person in the world, see, 100% of people in the entire world get ideas. Mhm.
Mhm.
Hardly 50% of them think about going forward with the ideas. Yeah. And then 20% of them don't give up during the ideas. And then hardly 5% of them succeed. And
Correct.
hardly 1% of that 5% actually find multiple ways of using their solution of helping the world. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if everyone is on the right track, anyone can do anything because nothing is impossible, right?
Right.
we we should have a non-linear thinking approach. We should look at things from different perspectives, and we should understand the problem at hand first and not jump to conclusions, right?
Yeah. So this brings me to another question, which is about understanding the need, which is very true. So for a short journey which I had about design thinking, what I've understood is when you talk to people, they may not tell you what the real problem is, and they might tell you what they want and not what they need. And when you are on the journey of social innovation, a lot of that depends on how do you understand the need from the people and not from the statistics. So there are a couple of communication methods which you when you use efficiently, you might arrive at the right problem and then you end up making the best solution. That is true. So now, whatever interviews or whatever interactions I've seen about you, one of the nicest things is that at this age, you have managed to have a very crisp and very apt, frame of communication. So I have two questions. A, how important it is to have this skill of communication in order to solve problems, and B, how do you do it at this age? Like, yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, communication is such an important skill in the 21st century. Now, imagine, let's go 10, 20 years into the future. Yeah. What do we see? We see so many things. We see robots, we see machines doing all the mundane tasks. Yeah. So, as humans, our job is to find out answers to the questions to which answers are not known. Yeah. And what the traditional education system is doing is that they are making us answer questions to which answers are already known, and in turn that doesn't really bring up much things. That doesn't really make learning accelerated. Yeah. So in the modern Western world, there is only one state of mind, which is the beta stage. Yeah, we all are in the beta stage, but if we master the states like the alpha state, so alpha state is when we get up early in the morning or in a calm state of accelerated learning. The delta state is when you're fast asleep. Yeah, you're on the dream state. Yeah.
Mhm.
And these two states, if one can master these two states, they can do anything. And here's why dreams are very important. Now when I was really young, when I used to sleep, I used to dream so much about the future, and I learned the importance of these skills like communication, creativity, because I've already imagined the future and I want to create the future now.
Mhm.
So that answering your second question, how I did it at this age is that, to be honest, any child in the world can do this as
Yeah.
long as they have a strong reason to do it. Yeah, they have a strong purpose to do it. And I believe that age is just a number, but no barrier to success.
Right. Right. I totally agree. So okay, are you a Elon Musk fan, or who do you look up to?
Actually, to be honest, my biggest inspiration was Elon Musk, and part of the reason why is that when I came to know about him, I just found out that, oh my God, this person does like five impossible tasks at a time, right? And so when I found out about that, I also started reading more about people's quotes and everything. So I was also inspired by Mahatma Gandhi ji. Be the change you wish to see in the world, or Albert Einstein's quote, in every crisis lies an opportunity, which
Mm-hmm.
inspired me to create this solution. And in the business world, my inspirations are Elon Musk and Ratan Tata. Yeah. So I was always fascinated by the amount of change and impact they brought through their companies.
Yeah,
And
they
my
are
other
my
inspirations
favorite.
and my other inspirations are my motivators like my father, my mentors, Gopal Ramchandran, Giri Balasubramanian, and Apurva Chamaria also. So I believe we can learn anything from everyone. We all learn from each other. And I believe that because any person in the world can do this, once they get the right motivation, the right methods, and the right mindset to do it, they can do anything.
Right, right. So I read somewhere, I think it was on your LinkedIn, that you said that your mission is to create a social innovation, not social, but innovation center or a hub in every school is what I read somewhere. And please tell us, what do you mean by that, and why do you think it is important, first of all?
Okay. So my mission is to give the power of innovation to every single teacher and child in the world so that they can come up with various creative solutions to problems faced by their families, communities, and even solve global issues to make the world a better place.
Mhm.
My mission is to set up innovation clubs in every possible school in the world to teach children all around the world these various important skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, innovation to prepare them for the coming future. Because in the future, everything will change. Like, especially now, change is the new normal, right? We all have to constantly adapt. And the reason why this is so important is that if you see, my passion is innovation, but my real purpose is to make others' passions into purposes. Or, in other words, just make others' purposes into reality or fulfill them, right? And I want to make the world a better place. And again, I have had so many dreams of creating so many things that even I couldn't. Even I was surprised by myself that how can a child like me, like when I was very young, I used to demotivate myself. But after I came to a realization that everything can be possible and taking inspiration from so many people, I believe that every child in the world can do this, right? And
Right.
and anyone can make the world a better place by contributing in some or the other way because everything has reason, everything has purpose.
Right, right. And you said that Elon Musk is your inspiration, and who is he not for? Actually, he's a great inspiration for everyone. Now, I don't know if you have seen one of his interviews where he actually cried in a way, and he's asked that, were you sad that NASA didn't approve of it in the beginning? And somebody asked him, so why didn't you give up? And he said, no, I would never give up, no matter what. And that's the point where he cries. And that brings us to the very basic of all these things, which is perseverance. Like, you might fail, there's a higher chance you would fail, but like, yeah, you might want to keep trying on it. And you rightly said, our generation is the Gen Y generation, and we have very less amount of patience. We want to you know arrive at the solutions, and which I fully agree with. So what is your day to day inspiration to keep trying and not even accept the failure? What do you do for that personally?
So again, as you said, there's actually another interview where
Hmm.
somebody asked Elon Musk that if you thought Tesla Motors would fail, why did he start in the first place? Why even try, right?
Yeah.
And his reply was he didn't want to do what others wanted him to do, but he wanted to do what was to be done.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is a sign of a very strong purpose. He wants to fulfill his dreams, and in a similar way, we all have a reason for getting up in the morning. Yeah, so My day-to-day inspiration is that, I want to do something for this world. All I ever wanted to have was a strong purpose. All I ever wanted to do was to change the world. And when you come to this state that, I want to do this, and you have that passion in you, then you're just unstoppable, right? But never let failure come up to you. Yeah, all people, all these successful people, and even children, they are not afraid of failure. Yeah, now if you take an adult compared to a child, there was a talk by IDEO's founder, actually, Tim Brown. I'm not sure about his name, but in his TED talk, he asked his audience to draw each other's face. Yeah, their partner's face, and many people were shy to show their drawings. Yeah, because they had only 30 seconds to do it. And what if those were children? They would instantly show it, because they don't care about how others judge them. But as they get older, the society and all influence them. Yeah, that this is not possible, and they start to doubt themselves. And so, there's a saying that, you should make a decision under 5 seconds, because after 5 seconds you start to doubt yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So Aditya, we I think now we have established that you have a strong, very strong fundamental system of inspiration, and you're constantly driven, and you want to, you have bigger dreams, and the path might not be clear to you, but the purpose is, the bigger picture is clear, and you want to keep working towards it. You have already started your journey, and there's this product which you developed for sterilization. What tell us a little about it, and what is it? What are the upcoming plans, and how can everyday person? So I saw it's a DIY do yourself. I think video, and yeah, tell us a little about your product.
Yeah, so our plan is to start a non-profit social venture, yeah, and make
Hmm.
different versions of the Suraksha Box. Our mission is to donate 15,100 COVID-19 Suraksha kits. However, now at the rapid rate of the support from others, I think it'll become 151K. So mission 151K. We want to donate these kits to those in need, underprivileged. Yeah, and this Diwali, make a change and give the gift of Suraksha to an employee, to a customer, to a loved one, to your family, and together we can help prevent the spread of the virus, right? And we plan to make different versions of this box. Yeah, it can be used by offices, hotels, education institutions, and almost everyone. And coming to the product, this is a do-it-yourself UVC sterilization box, which can decontaminate almost all kinds of viruses, bacteria, and fungi. It has a mesh on which you place the items for 360-degree sterilization. It has a UVC light has a range of 240 nanometers. Yeah, so it is perfect to destroy the RNA and DNA of viruses, to sterilize the objects, and we've added a bubble wrap aluminium foil, which is the best possible reflectant for UVC light, and it makes easier to clean and more durable. So I've received a patent. Yeah, I've received a patent publication. This product is also appreciated by senior scientists at CSIR and ICMR. And
Wow.
many people asked me that, when I received this patent, how do you plan to commercialize or sell this product? And I instantly answered, no, this is not a time to make money. This is a crisis. We'll help each other to get back on their feet. This is a time to solve the problems of the world and help the needy, the poor. Yeah, and because the lives of everyone are disrupted and changed in some way. So this is not a time to make money, but rather a time to solve the world's problems. And this
True.
is like a lifetime opportunity. So how can I ever let it go?
Wow, yeah, true. That's actually extremely inspiring for a, at your age to be able to think in such a larger perspective, which is amazing. I'm sure everybody who will watch this will be inspired by that. So Aditya, like what are your next steps? Because now you know that even after failing, you're capable of succeeding. Once you have faced that journey and you have been through it and you know the ups and downs and you know what happens. So what are your next steps? I know it's too soon to ask, you're in eighth standard, but like, do you have like a like a goal, or like say three goals which you want to achieve in near future?
Well, there aren't exactly three decided goals. I have multiple things that I want to do in my mind. I need to declutter my mind a lot nowadays. But what I really want to do in the future is to give the power of innovation, make others understand the importance of it. And if I'm being honest, if I'm being really honest, I have dreamed so much that I've come up with 195 ideas that I want to execute. Yeah,
Wow.
literally 195 ideas jotted down. So whenever I get up in the morning, I keep a notebook beside. Yeah, or I just speak and it just stays in my head. Because many things have come from the dream state. Yeah, it's come from a subconscious mind. So many directors and all, someone created Frankenstein in their dream. A chemist created a periodic table in their dream state. Yeah, so it really shows that you have great ideas at the background of your mind, right? And that when you turn your dreams into a reality, you are doing something for the world, you're contributing something for the world, you have a great purpose, and nothing can ever stop you, right? So that's how I got my ideas, and I want to execute all 195 of these ideas and turn
Sure.
them
Yeah.
into reality.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people now, you say that you wake up and you have all jotted down and things like that. Blunt honest, I do think a lot, but there's something called as work-life balance. So I have very recently started working, and I've stepped out of from a college to work. So it's like campus to corporate. And one of the major things which I face is that what people call work-life balance. Maybe your parents talk about it, and it's tough to have a professional front and still keep doing what you really want to do. In your case, I think a lot of young audience which tune in this interaction would want to know that you are still a student. You're learning every day. You have a school to attend. Um, you have to get good grades and things like that. So how do you balance this need to consistently create something, and then you can't leave school? So how do you balance that?
So I get what he's saying. It is really hard to find time and all to do things, but when you're so dedicated,
Hmm.
like if one is so if one wants to turn something into a reality so badly, like do you want it that badly? So here's what I really do to make my to balance school and this. So okay, I'll be honest. I ask my teachers for extensions and everything all the time. Yeah,
Okay.
whenever I find an opportunity to get an extension for a homework or a test, I just take it. First of all, then second of all, my daily day is just to try and balance between work and school and other activities. I really love reading and exercising. Yeah, for this I wake up at 5 a.m. and sometimes at 4 a.m. You get in a lot of extra hours in, because again, as I told you, the alpha state, you learn you learn at least 10 to 100 times faster in the morning. So that's where my work time comes in. I work early in the morning with a fresh mind. I exercise, meditate, clean, work, go outside, read for at least 30 minutes a day. I have a heavy breakfast, and I like to journal. I always journal, mostly gratitude. Yeah, after school, I do my homework, watch some TV, play a little bit, and my day ends with reflecting and planning for my next day. So actually, even Elon Musk and many other successful people use this method called time blocking or time boxing. So you allocate time to a certain task, and then over time you try and reduce it. Yeah, so you achieve so much more in life, and I schedule every day. literally every day. I reflect, schedule. I know what I've done at least 2 months ago. I know how I've done that 2 months ago. I know what I want to do 2 months later, and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
skill
planning is, yeah.
development and planning is very important. So schedule and skill development. So actually, in this lockdown, I realized that my reading speed was extremely low, and according to my expectations, I really wanted to go higher. So I decided to increase my reading speed. Initially, it was 250 words per minute. Yeah, I did many courses, especially Jim Quick's courses, who's also one of my big inspirations. He's like the world's best brain coach now. So I've done his courses, and in a matter of a month, my reading speed was 800 words per minute, and now it's 1,000. Now, of course, I'm not perfect at it. Everyone has to learn to master a skill or two, and no one is perfect, right? But I'm still building on it, and that has drastically helped me. And I believe that skill development is something so important in today's world that if you don't have any skills, what's the difference between you and a robot?
True. Yeah, yeah. Agreed. So Aditya, like now, then when you say that you plan a lot of things, and yeah, so I personally don't do that, but because I work somewhere, so I have a plan. Like I have to abide those 8 hours according to the plan. So that's what how it is. And what I realize is that there's too much of information flowing. When you really want to read a lot, and you take inspiration from everything which is around. I am hoping when you're going out on a ride and you see a hoarding which is inspiring in some way, you register it in your head some way. So this is how you start functioning, because you're literally looking for information each and every place. And there comes a point, I think, once in every 3 or 4 months, when you want to say that, okay, let me cut off, and I know when I take a break, I'll come back, rebounds in a bigger way, and I'll have a lot of energy after that. So what I personally like to do is to I go back to music. I travel a lot. That's one thing I really want to do. I like doing it. What are your ways of gaining that energy? Because I think a lot of kids and a lot of young audience would again want to know that. It's very tough competition, right? You can understand. A lot of pressure. There's a lot of peer pressure. So where do you take your mental break, and what do you do in your me time to get back on your energy?
uh, so when it's about energy, yeah,
Hmm.
you now I know it happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of every one of us that when things don't go our way, yeah, we burn out, and then that leads us to procrastinating and everything. But many people, they even work 100 hours a week by scheduling and everything and achieving so much in less amount of time. So I thought, like, how come these guys work so much without burning out or staying unproductive? And I found out that these guys are productivity ninjas. Yeah, mainly because their purpose drives their energy. Yeah, their
Hmm.
purpose drives their energy, and they don't rely on an external source like an energy drink or something to give them energy, right? Their purpose itself is driving their energy. And once you start doing what you really love, you don't need any external source to get energy from, right? And what I do in my me time is that I find ways to declutter my mind. And these days, there is so much information that we have to process, we have to go through, that our mind is just distracted. Yeah, so we divide our minds, we focus on something else, we do something else. One of the really important skills that to learn is to declutter our minds, and that drastically helps to improve our performance, our productivity, and just improves our life in general. So in my me time, I meditate a lot, and I journal. Yeah, I just journal whatever comes into my mind, whatever I think about, or I even started doing this new thing. Whenever I get up in the morning, um, whatever are my thoughts, I just write it down. And even gratitude. Oh, if you write this 5 points of gratitude every day, they're just 5 points of gratitude. And at the end of the day, if you're burned out or if you're really sad or something didn't go your way, which happens to everyone, you can just have a look at those 5 points. I'm sure it'll put a smile on your face, because what we think, we do. We are what we think. First, we make our habits, and then our habits make us.
Right, right. True, agreed. Yeah, I have genuinely learned a lot about gratitude today. That's true. Uh, so, Aditya, there is a saying that till 20th century, people were paid to do hard work. Like you pick up a brick, you get, you have to have a good handwriting because you're a personal assistant to someone. And now there are computers everywhere. There's artificial intelligence. There's ML, things like that. And now comes a point where people have started saying that you need three E's, that is education, exposure, and experience. So education is something, yes, fundamentally, that's the part of the ecosystem. Experience will come with time, and exposure, surprisingly, whatever interactions I've had, people always say that it depends on society. And now here you are saying that there's a lot of information to process, and maybe you're using Google for it, maybe you're using books for it, maybe you're using interactions for it, and all this is available to each one of us. But yet some people end up saying that no, oh, I don't have the enough amount of exposure. So there is a way of putting technology to the best use, and which I'm sure you're doing. So what is your message to our audience in that direction?
So my message to everyone would be to, find out your purpose. Yeah, first is find out your purpose. Do something what you're passionate about. Yeah, solve a problem of the world. Do what you love, and never ever give up. Yeah, just never ever give up. And you will not give up if you do something you really love. Yeah. And you said about the three E's, right? Education, exposure, and what was the other?
Experience.
Experience. Yeah. In my opinion, I think experience is probably the most important one in that, because what we all do just gives us more experience. We travel to other places to experience other cultures and other things. And when you build upon your experience, it'll just give you more skill sets and more mindsets, different mindsets. So once you start doing all of that, you will just easily get the hang of everything. And then when I was starting my company, and I remember the 10-year-old me was having so many ideas, wanting to do so many things, but I didn't know where to start. I had absolutely no idea where to start. And when I educated myself, I learned so much so quickly and everything. And once I did everything, oh, the opportunities just keep coming to you. And when you make use of those opportunities properly, everything just falls into place. I wanted to do something social. I wanted to do something for innovation. I wanted to do something for inspiration. Everything just falls into place seamlessly. So once you do what you love, once you have found out your real and true purpose, which can change over time also, that is when uh, your purpose will drive your energy. Yeah, instead of relying on something else. And you can, at that point, you can have the ability to change the world like many people have done.
Right, right. Uh, right. So Aditya, this brings me to another question, which you are obviously very driven and obviously very optimistic, in a very genuine way, because you reflect a lot. I think you are very self-aware. Uh, do you think you are also aware, as people around not always have the best things uh, to say about us. There's always a way where you can absolutely negate somebody's success or uh, uh, his or her energy. So now, if at all this is around you, are you aware of it? firstly, if it is around you, and second, how do you deal with it? Because I'm assuming at this age you can't really go out of your way. So how do you deal with it mentally? Because I think at your age, and soon now I think you reach your higher education and you go 10th standard, 11, 12. That's when I have seen people lose a lot of direction in life, a lot of direction, and it's all because of the peer group you're surrounded with, and there's a lot of thoughts coming in, and how do you like balance it out, and how do you just neglect what you have to?
So actually, for this, as I told you, I love reading, and at a young age, if you develop this mindset and this obsession, you start to understand the real things where others are going wrong. Yeah, and you should not. And I know it happens to everyone, even me. It has happened so many times where you have such a negative peer group, or they're just against you, or things don't go your way because of that. One of the best ways is to just not react to it. Just don't react. Why do we get angry so much? Because we react. If we And here's the surprising thing: if you get mad at someone, yeah, and you think before you react, yeah, and you just stop and you just don't get mad anymore. Yeah, but that is something which most of us and almost every one of us has almost forgotten, because I can understand it happens to everyone nowadays because things never go anyone's way, so you have to constantly adapt. You have to adapt. And let's take the example of a negative peer group, right? So when you have a negative peer group, you should only take the positive things from them. They should learn the things that they are good at. Yeah, and you should not react. And I think in that you can even make them a positive peer group. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, you can
So,
be the change. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, true. Wow, wow. You really do have an answer to everything. So, Aditya, here's what we do. Do we now we know you at a very deeper level, and somehow I think everybody who will tune into this will get a lot of inspiration into their day-to-day lives. Now, what you said, I think the best part about whatever you shared was all of it is actionable. All of it is like, okay, yeah, make a plan, write down the gratitude points, wake up early, be driven, find your purpose. All of it is actionable, and it's not just gyan, what people call it gyan. So it's great. It's very inspiring. So do we now come to a couple of fun questions where people can know you as a friend so that it's more relatable,
Yeah.
and towards the end again we will end up in your way. So should we ask you some couple of fun questions?
Sure. Sure.
Great. Okay.
I mean, with everything, right? You have to learn the times when to get serious and when to have fun, right?
Right, right, exactly. So I understand you're from Pune, born and brought up Pune. What's your favorite Maharashtrian dish?
It's a very tough question.
So you don't have answers to these questions. Great. Now we have, yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, I think I like misal pav a lot. I mean, to be honest, anything as long as it's vegetarian, I will like.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. And what is the sport you would like enjoy watching, even if you don't play it, if you're just on the TV?
I think something like martial arts or something, or
Okay.
swimming and martial arts. I think those will be the sports which, even if I was not interested in, it will oh, this is so good. I would feel like that.
Right.
Yeah.
True. And what like I understand like schools nowadays have a lot of activities and etc. So which is apart from your academics, which is the activity which you really want, like you really enjoy doing no matter what?
So an activity which I really enjoy a lot to do apart from
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Oh well, I always like to meet new people. Again, exchange of thoughts like we're doing now. We're exchanging knowledge, right? We're learning from each other.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
but again now nowadays it's not very possible. But I really like to play with Legos. I like to build things. uh, uh, I really like to build things with Legos and all. I really like toys also. Yeah,
Yeah,
toys, fidget spinners, and everything. Yes, I'm also into that sort of stuff. So I am more of into my childish self, actually.
which is great. Yeah, you should always keep the child alive. And what ice cream is your favorite ice cream?
Hmm. That makes me hungry. My favorite ice cream flavor would be vanilla or mint
Mint,
chocolate.
yeah, yeah, that's a rare one and a good one. Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't know why whenever I do this I end up talking about food a lot. It's maybe a personal reflection. And do you pay attention to brands? Are brands important to you when you buy clothes?
Now, from my point of view, not from a business point of view or anything, but I feel like let's say that you wanted to buy something which you really like, go for it. Yeah, you should go for it. But for me, I don't think a brand really matters, because like
Mhm.
I'm not that much into clothes or anything. But when it comes to branding, I feel like you should, as long as that product satisfies you and all of your resources or anything, you should go for it. And it doesn't matter the way you look, or you should not judge anyone by the brands or the things that they have, right? That's just according to me. So I don't really
Yeah,
care about any brand or anything. But I just don't want others to judge me, right? You just don't want others to judge me. And once you surpass that, you get to a point where you just don't care anymore,
right,
because
right, true.
you don't have a fear of judgment from others.
Correct. You should basically do what you feel like. Yeah, true, agreed. And do you have a go-to summer drink? Like for me, Rasna was the one. Rasna cannot beat anything cannot beat Rasna, I feel. So is there something which you have like that?
So good summer drink.
Yeah.
I really like buttermilk. Yeah, I like this drink called Blue Lagoon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Blue Lagoon, uh, and even a mojito.
Mojito is amazing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like minty things, like
Yeah.
minty things. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah. I understood your
gives
taste.
me
Yeah.
so much more. It just makes me feel a lot fresh.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Which I understand is also the need most of the time. So yeah. Great. So Aditya, this actually brings me to the last question, and then we can just chill and talk if you want. Um, you can take your time, or you can just structure your thought when you talk about this. How there's a concept of, I'll just give you an example and try to ask what I'm trying to ask. So we all know Alia Bhatt, and uh, at 23 or 24, she made like 10 movies and 9 were successful. That means her success rate was like 90%. And then we came up with a quote like, too soon, too fast, too soon for a success. Which is true for most of the kids because, as you said, we have very less patience and we try our best and things like that, and you end up succeeding. But what also plays a very important role is how do you keep yourself grounded? What and how much part does being humble play into keep succeeding, because success is not one time, it's basically a journey. It has to be consistent, otherwise it makes no sense. What is your message to the entire audience on the topic of being humble no matter what?
We should like never underestimate anyone. And coming back to what you said, to staying grounded. I feel like you should dream a lot more, right? You should have many dreams, but the other side of you should stay back on ground, right? So if you take an example of an entrepreneur, one entrepreneur is in Disneyland, yeah, just in his own thoughts in Disneyland, and the other entrepreneur is just practical, straight to the point. None of them would succeed because on one side the other person didn't dream, and on the other side the dreamer did not stay on ground. So there should be a sort of a balance to
Mhm.
everything, and success requires patience. Everything requires patience, right? Some things are not meant to be done fast.
True, true. Agreed. Yeah, that's actually inspiring. Yeah. So this I actually have no more questions. But what I personally feel after this interaction so far, I was like media wise aware of you, but you really are. A prodigy. A lot of people can take inspiration from you. There's a lot which will come up with experience also. As you said, it's very important, and along the years there's a lot, yes, definitely, which you have to offer. It's crazy. I think thanks to Skillshark, first of all, to approach, and I don't know, I find it very tough to maintain that balance. That is why I chose a Sunday, that too very hardly. I had to come back by a half day. So yeah, and it was a lot inspiring. One thing I'm going to do for sure is to keep a diary and always write those gratitude points. So a lot of people have told me that it's actually a need, and it's crazy. I will closely, look forward to your journey forward. All the best, and whatever you need, anytime you need, however I can be helpful, please do connect, and stay safe, stay happy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, you said about the gratitude points, right? So, once you do it, if you do it just once, you'd want to do it again, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
if you all just, try, just try once, yeah. Like if one person doesn't like reading at all, they can just start by reading a sentence. That's it,
Mhm.
and then they can build upon that, and then that's how you can master anything, and that's how everything happens. So yeah, thank you so much for having me today here.